Hey everyone, and welcome to a very crowded Newark Liberty International Airport. If you've been to the airport this summer, then you've probably experienced the same thing, as many airports are struggling to cope with the surge of summer holidaymakers. I arrived here about 3 hours before my flight, and I'm really glad that I did, because it took me about 2 hours and 45 minutes to navigate through the various check-in desks here at Terminal C, and then stand in a massive line to clear security. So if you plan to travel soon, take it from me, get to the airport nice and early. But what made me want to brave this chaos today? Well, I'll be flying with United all the way to Dubrovnik in Croatia for a little vacation. As more and more countries have been opening up to vaccinated travelers, United has added additional routes to their network, and they introduced this new service back in July, which will operate 3 times a week until October. And there's my ride for today, a 29-year-old 767-300ER, which has been flying with the airline since the 90s. United currently has 54 767s, and in 2018 they began discussions with Airbus and Boeing to potentially replace these jets with the A330 and the 787. But nothing seems to have come from those talks, so it looks like this trusty plane will remain with the airline for a while. Since security took ages, I didn't have to wait long for boarding to start, and soon enough I was making my way down the jet bridge. This plane features United's Polaris business class, but I'll be sitting back in seat 29A in economy. In total, there's 138 standard economy seats in a 2-3-2 configuration. And in my opinion, this layout is much better than what you'll find at most newer planes. When I got to my seat, a blanket was waiting for me, and later the crew handed out a pillow. They weren't the best quality, but it was nice to see that these were being provided again.
It looks like we'll be ready in just a few more minutes. Once everyone, your flight time tonight to Dubrovnik, 8 hours and 27 minutes. We're expecting an on-time arrival at 10:20 tomorrow morning. Good weather across the ocean, also on the other side in Dubrovnik for tomorrow morning. Partly cloudy skies, about 86 degrees tomorrow afternoon. For now, we want to thank you for flying United Airlines. Welcome aboard.
Once everyone was settled, the doors were closed and we left the gate on time.
There are also 4 window exits over the waist. When open, ramp slides will automatically inflate.
Now that we've reached cruising altitude, let's take a closer look around. Despite this being a pretty full flight, the seat next to me ended up being empty. The seats themselves were fairly comfortable. They feature adjustable headrests, have a nice amount of recline, and there's a universal outlet underneath. The legroom wasn't too bad either. The seat back pocket is nice and large, and the tray table folds down from in front of you. Each seat has an IFE screen, and you can find the headphone jack and a USB port towards the bottom. I was impressed with the IFE system, but we'll take a closer look at that later. Since this was an evening flight, the crew wasted no time starting the food and beverage service. For the mains, you could choose between pasta and chicken. I decided to go with the chicken, which wasn't very good, but I do appreciate that everyone received a hot meal. The meal tray also came with some snacks, bread, sorbet, and a little salad. There was also alcohol at no charge, but I decided to go with some Sprite. Once dinner was cleared away, the crew turned off the cabin lights. At first it seemed like no one was able to turn off their individual reading lights, but eventually the crew was able to work their magic and all the lights were turned off. A little while later, I decided to go for a walk and check out the lavatory. In total, there's 4 economy lavatories located in the back of the plane, and the crew kept them nice and clean for the entire flight. All of United's 767s are equipped with seatback IFE systems. I thought there was a very nice selection of entertainment options available, and I had no problem finding something to watch. This plane also had Wi-Fi, and you can access the United app and watch some movies on your personal device for no charge. As we got closer to Croatia, the cabin lights were turned on and the second meal was served. The breakfast wasn't very substantial, and I feel like this is an area where United could improve. I mean, on such a long flight, it would be nice if they served something more than just yogurt and Biscoff cookies. I should also mention that this flight cost over $1,000 round trip at the time of booking. So if United is charging that kind of money, then I think it's definitely fair to expect a better breakfast. But I forgot about my nearly empty stomach as the beautiful coastline of Croatia came into view, and I was really excited to catch a glimpse of Dubrovnik. If you're thinking about booking this flight, then I recommend sitting on the left-hand side of the plane so you can catch these views. This was a really nice flight, and aside from having to wear a mask, it seemed like the in-flight experience had almost returned to normal. After wearing a mask for over 8 hours though, I was pretty happy to land. Dubrovnik Airport boasts the most modern passenger terminal in Croatia, and it also has the country's longest runway. And as far as flying aboard the 767, it was a pleasure to travel on this old bird today. The 232 configuration gave it a nice spacious feeling, and the fact that it was outfitted with Wi-Fi and seatback IFE screens was great to see. I think most people on this flight would have been surprised to know that this plane left the factory in 1992. At the end of the jet bridge, a lady who worked for the airport welcomed us to Croatia and directed everyone to immigration. For those of you who may be wondering what it's like to enter Croatia for tourism, the process was nice and easy. The immigration officer just checked everyone's passports and vaccination certificates or virus tests, and we were free to go. This was filmed back in July though, so things may have changed by now. And now I'll leave you with this scene from Dubrovnik. We had a great time in this beautiful city, so you should check it out if you want to get away sometime. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.